What's going on? What's going on, Mike? Yeah, I did that. I already put in my day. I did 112 hours this week. Yeah, I gotta pay them bills somehow. I might be selling the 9th gen parts. I've contemplated it really hard. I kind of threw it up, all my parts up for sale to see if I had any bites. Because if I sell something big, then it's over. Yeah, everyone wants something for nothing. As I put in the post, stuff's for sale, not on sale. I'm not hurting for money. If I was hurting for money, I could unload everything pretty easily, but I'm not just going to give it away. The turbo kit's brand new. Every piece is there. And then the fully built motor and stuff, it's never even been ran on. It's all brand new from oil pan, the valve cover. The only thing I lack the whole the whole build to finish the 9th gen is a transmission that I got screwed out of. It's literally the only thing I lack to finish the 9th gen. And to be honest with you, uh, I'm just not interested in the ninth gen anymore. I think I just want to I want to sell all the ninth gen parts and buy a Integra Type S. You going to visit him? Yeah, I'm gonna go pay Norris here a visit here pretty soon. Get my transmission back, and then hopefully get my money back. It's about $5,000 that he owes me. Yeah, building a transmission isn't cheap, you know. I could really use the $5,000 to buy my bigger turbo for the Accord and some fab work. Yeah, engines aren't cheap either, especially when you start sleeving. And then being a 6-cylinder, you got 2 more pistons and 2 more rods. And for a 4-cylinder, you're talking $2,000 in pistons and rods retail, just pistons and rods. And then sleeving for a 4-cylinder is a little over $1,000. There's over 3,000 just pistons, rods, and sleeves. And then you're not taking into account in the bearings, machine work, and head gasket, and head studs, and springs and retainers, and valves. Like building, people think that building stuff's cheap. I have $3,000 into just buying pistons, rods, and sleeves for the Accord motor, not including machining and all the other good stuff. That's not including timing chain guides, oil pump time or oil pump chain, everything else. It all adds up. And the head. If you buy a brand new Accord head, I believe it's, don't quote me, I think it's like $2,500 for a brand new Accord head. I'm gonna try find one used. I still haven't bought an Accord head. Yeah, I'm probably end up just gonna buy a whole nother used motor for the, just to get the head off of it, and then just save the block as a backup. Because I want to have a head by this winter and get it ported. Because this winter I want to put in a ported head, and I'm gonna try the cams this winter to see if I can get the cams to work on the stock ECU for right now. And then hopefully the standalone ECUs, once I get the transmission the way I want it, and then I'll go standalone ECU. There's 3 people in here, you're the only one responding to me. Yeah, I'm gonna do a standalone ECU on the Accord. The only problem with the so I'm still working on trying to get the Motec. If I can get the Motec, you can still keep direct injection, and I have someone to figure out the CAN communication with the rest of the car. And then you'll be able to, if I can get a Motec, I'll be able to run the FK8 XDI pump um, on the Accord with bigger direct injection injectors. I'll be able to upgrade the intake pump to a bigger pump and stuff like that. That's if the Motec goes through. If the Motec doesn't go through, Mike at Axion is working on a Haltech adapter harness. The only problem if you do the Haltech is you have to delete the direct injection injectors and weld the hole shut on the head for the direct injectors, and you have to remove everything that's direct injector off the car and put a plate over um, where the pump rides on the cam. But that's another option that's going to be coming. Another thing with the Haltech is it won't communicate with the car, so all that stuff will have to be figured out. I know just from I can't remember the guy. He's on YouTube that has the Type R that put a Haltech on it. That you have to like still have the factory ECU plugged in or PCM. It's a power control module, not a ECU. But you'll still have to have that plugged in for like your ABS sensors, um your parking brake and stuff, all like if you want to keep the functionalities kind of stock. But if I do the Haltech route, I'm just gonna do a Haltech dash, Haltech ECU, and I'm probably gonna eliminate all like the electronic stuff. Yeah, all those features are lame. I still want to keep a daily driver set up. That's why I was really pushing towards Motec, but I'm still waiting on a response back because you have to buy only one company sells the adapter harness for the SI. You have to buy the SI adapter harness, and you have to buy the software for the SI, the development package, sorry, for the SI. And then from there, I got to spend more money to get the CAN communication to the rest of the car to run the Motec. It's not cheap. Yeah, Motec's more money, that's for sure. To be honest with you, if Motec becomes a thing for him, it'll be great. But if it doesn't, then I'll just go the Haltech route. I already have a tuner either way. On a fully built engine, I'm just gonna say right now, with a ported head and cams and stuff, I don't foresee 600 horsepower being unrealistic. I'm going to tell you right now, someone already hit 570 something horsepower on an Accord. They just don't post it because they aren't big on sharing stuff. And he doesn't want to be questioned, but that's what it made. I'll pull up the exact numbers. Someone made 573 horsepower in an Accord this week on a built motor, but on a 10-speed automatic. That was a ported head built block. And they're real dyno numbers, not fake dyno numbers. So like I said, 600 horsepower isn't out of the realm even on the stock ECU. You just have to have enough fuel. And I think with a ported head and a bigger turbo, it should be close to 600 horsepower. Easily. Yeah, the engine, the biggest downfall of the Type R and the Accord engine is behind the valves. So like this is a valve, right? And inside the head is called the valve bowl. And it's really, so let's say the valve's this big and the behind the valve bowl is only this big, and then you open it up to be the same size as the valve, and you're going to pick up like 20-30 horsepower just because you move more air. But you also need a turbo to move that amount of air. And then if I get cams that work, there's another 15 to 20 horsepower in the mid to top range. No one's done cams in the Accord. I'm currently, let's go back. Honda says they have cams for the Accord, and supposedly they're testing them or whatever, but that's all hocus pocus because I have not seen the cams. They don't post anything up. I have a physical set of cams in my possession that I had made for me for the Accord motor because the Type R cams do not work in the Accord. The cam cap assembly is different, and the high pressure fuel pump lobe on the cam is totally different. So technically, I'm still the only one with an Accord set of cams, and I haven't tried them yet because I still haven't even found the limit out on the stock engine because I keep breaking stuff. Shoot me your questions, guys. So yeah, I bought an FK8 transmission, which first through fourth gear are the same as the Accord 6-speed manual. Fifth and sixth gear are different. And then I bought an upgraded fourth gear, and I bought the Accord final drive ring and main shaft to convert the FK8 trans to an Accord trans, pretty much. How did someone get it? An Accord motor with a 10-speed to handle 570 horsepower, a big turbo built motor, and they still kept the torque conservative. Yeah, pretty much still a one-wheel wonder because it's an automatic transmission. It's an open diff. So yeah, I did get a new fourth gear. I got a graph gear that's a 1.14 ratio, which will do 132 mile an hour in fourth gear now. So I'll be able to do 60 to 130 pulls in 2 gears. What, Bubba? Okay. LSD helped a lot, to be honest with you. Especially cutting a 60-foot. See, I haven't even had the chance to dial my car in all that great because every time I start to dial it in more, something breaks and then I change stuff. But yeah, it should do 132 mile an hour in fourth gear now. So I don't know if it'll show up. It's going to be backwards. So I'll read it off. First gear do 42 mile an hour, second gear 71, third gear 99, fourth gear 132, fifth gear 166, and sixth gear will top out at 205. When I tune with MT, it's e-tuning. So pretty much I go out and do a pull, and then he sends me a revision. His MT Manolitos from Puerto Rico. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm hoping the trans gets me through the rest of the season. Uh, to be honest with you, I really haven't had that great of races. There really isn't that many fast cars around me. Every Subaru that's tried to race me, I've beat. Every 5.0 Mustang that's tried racing me, I've pretty much beat. Um, the transmission broke when I was racing at M5, and I beat him. I was trying to have my car done by Sunday. We have, if you're a car guy, you know what Fast and the Furious is, and you know what Race Wars is. We have a Race Wars in New York State, which is an hour and a half from me. And I was trying to get my car ready for that to go race at Race Wars, but it didn't happen. I'm still waiting on bearings for my transmission. And everyone that wants to line up a race or whatever, as soon as it comes to the time to race, they end up going ghost. Yeah, most of the local guys don't want to race. They all know what my car does. Is port injection a different install? Oh, is port injection a difficult install? I wouldn't say so. It's pretty much the biggest thing is wiring it up, and For the port injection, I recommend because it goes off RPM or math. You're gonna need to build an adapter harness because I do not recommend splicing into your factory harness because the factory harness is aluminum wiring and you cannot solder it. What's going on, Fred? I personally haven't done port injection. I bought a radium plate, and the guy never shipped it and went ghost on me because I was gonna swap in, and try out port methanol or port fuel injection. But I, since he never shipped it, I just continued to push the port methanol setup. I actually have bigger nozzles that I'm going to try out. And I got a new meth controller that will be just like the split second controller for the port injection, but for methanol. So I'm trying different things just to make more power. My car probably right now is making like 530, 540 to the wheels and probably like 510 to 515 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, so if I believe correctly, yeah, see, Fred knows the AIC2-P uses a boost reference, kind of like the AEM controller for methanol. But I would rather use like a MAF signal and the RPM signal. That's what my new controller for methanol uses. I'm going to make adapter harnesses to the map sensor and the intake cam lobe sensor. Just make it pigtails pretty much. So I'll be able to control the methanol like a port fuel injection. So you can turn it on and off continuously and not just have it turn on at 8 psi and then max to 15 psi. Because the way my mess set up right now is just purely off boost, which isn't that great. Shoot me any questions you guys have. Anything doesn't have to be Accord related, it could be anything. They got 7 people in here. No one's asking any questions. MHI Stage 2 turbo you mentioned, it holds up better than others. Yeah, the MHI Stage 2 is like super reliable. The PRL turbos, like I mentioned before, aren't that great. They have problems, and the RV6 660 has its own problems. The MHI Stage 2 is the most reliable turbo that I have seen so far. Yeah, hopefully the car stays together for the next track run. I think I've pretty much fixed everything. The car's been broke. Feels like forever. Uh, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I'm thinking of a G30 uh 660, but I'm not really sure at this point. I've pretty much maxed out the MHI Stage 2. I'm pushing 37, 38 pounds of boost out of it. It doesn't go over 30. I think it was 38. 38.3 is the max PSI I've pushed out of it. You're switching turbos, Fred. Yeah, I'm not sure yet, to be honest with you. I'm probably gonna go Garrett. If the standalone ECU thing works out, I will go with a 64, 66 Precision Gen 2. Sweet, Fred. Yeah, the MHI Stage 2 is a good turbo. Don't get me wrong. Your Borg Warner does pretty good. Are you still having problems with the wastegate bracket, Fred? Like flexing? Or is it the the recirculating valve? I'm going to give you my 100% honest opinion on the RV6 bypass valve. I'm on the MHI stage 2. I still have the recirculating valve that comes on the MHI stage 2 when you buy it. And I'm pushing 37, 38 pounds of boost. So the guys that are blowing out these recirc valves or whatever, like on the RV6 turbo, I think it's just a flaw because, like I said, I'm pushing 37, 38 psi on the MHI stage 2 turbo, and I have zero problems with the recirc valve. I think it's a great design. It's better than other ones that are out on the market, but do I think that you need it? No, I think it's a waste of money, to be honest with you. That's my honest opinion from someone that's making, over 500 something horsepower on the stock MHI stage 2 recirc valve. But that's my opinion. I mean, I can try figuring out what's wrong with it. To be honest with you, it doesn't. I mean, yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really know if it makes any more sound. I have an open air box and stuff because with my bigger math housing, I can't put the side cover on my box because my filter sticks out. I get turbo sounds if that's what you're looking for. And that's on the stock recirc valve. Yeah, Full Race was supposed to come out with the new wastegate bracket that was stronger because of the flexing issues. Um, and then they fired everyone and quit making turbo kits. Yeah, the EPA is ruining everything. Yeah, Fred, they're not going to release the new bracket. They got rid of all their fabricators. I've emailed them back and forth, called them out on Instagram and everything, and they have no interest in doing anything. If it isn't a drop-in turbo or anything that modifies the stock downpipe, they don't want anything to do with it. Well, they've already been after dyno tuners. Quite a few years ago now, there was a dyno tuner in PA that's still in business. Why can't I not think of his name right? Evans Tuning. The EPA pretty much shut him down for quite a long time on tuning anything that had to do with a street car. To be honest with you, I'm not really worried about the EPA. There's always a way around it. So yeah, Fred, your wastegate bracket just needs reinforced. All they did was use thicker stainless steel. Because what happens is that wastegate actuator is putting so much pressure on that the plate is flexing back and forth every time the actuator opens and closes. So every time the actuator opens and closes, that plate's flexing back and forth because it's not strong enough the way they designed it. They had a problem with it from the get go, even with the G series. Yeah, that's all it needs to be done is take it to a fab shop and tell them you need a stronger bracket that looks identical to it. I don't think tuners need to play by the rules. I just think the EPA should just worry about what the EPA is about. It's environment. Cars have really nothing to do with the environment. If you want to get technical, it takes more to make a lithium battery that destroys the planet than it does driving a car with a catless downpipe. Well, they're just trying to. Their agenda is to shut down the whole car industry and move everyone to electric cars because it's lining it's lining their pockets. I'm glad I live in a state that doesn't have emissions. Well, in my county, we don't have emissions. They want to limit your control on how far you can travel, how often you can travel, and they want to crash our electrical grid system because then you'll be out of electric. That's because everyone that lived in California has now moved to Arizona because of the taxes. Yeah, it's all money. It's all money to them. So if you don't you buy a Tesla or whatever, an electric car, now you don't need gas, and now they can't make up the money that they made on taxes on fuel. So now they're going to go back and tax the people that have to charge their electric cars even more. The whole point of moving to an electric car was because it was supposed to be cheaper and environmentally friendly. But to make one lithium battery destroys, uh, it's ridiculous how much that you have to dig up the earth to get lithium. I'll be honest with you, I'm never gonna own an electric car. Not in my lifetime. I'll make my own fuel. Yeah, this whole world's crazy anymore. I just continue to go to work and build cars. That's what I like doing. I try not getting into politics anymore because it just starts a bunch of crap. Then I'm not into electric cars at all. I think electric cars are a waste of time and money. Yeah, it goes nowhere. People that argue politics 90% of the time don't even look at what's happening in the world. Everything has to come back, or everything has to do with politics. Electric cars is a politic move. It's an agenda that they have. It's insider trading, pretty much. They say it doesn't happen, but it does. Just like they say the sitting president doesn't have anything to do with fuel prices. But yet, when it's time to lower the fuel prices, they want to take credit for it. It just, I'll just stop there. I go on and on all day. It's a waste of my time. What's that they used to say? Not hashtag not my president. But I'm stopping there. I don't like talking about politics. Not my grandpa. Back to turbos. Yeah. MHI Stage 2 for anyone buying a turbo. And you buy it from Axion Industries. Everything. If Mike doesn't carry it, it's not good. He's even got them on sale. Look at that. Don't wait for next year. Affirm that shit right now. Go sign up for Affirm, and you're going to head over to the Axion Industries website, and you're going to put that MHI Stage 2 in your cart, and you're going to buy that shit. Yeah, forget the FK8 Turbo. Just buy the MHI Stage 2. You'll be much happier. Yeah, I don't understand why companies won't sell to certain people. It's stupid. Uh, like the 27-1 deal. Friggin', like, why wouldn't you let someone be a dealer for you? I don't. I just don't get companies. All right, later, Mike. Yeah, meth is where it's at. It makes easy power. Thanks, Mike. A 480 horsepower is very obtainable, and that's conservatively you can make 480. My car lived at 486 horsepower for, I don't know, quite a while. Then I decided to turn it up. Biggest thing to keep the car alive is maintenance. You got to change your oil often and keep your transmission fluid. Yeah, I change my transmission fluid every other oil change. Yeah, the head studs become the first weak link of the motor, is what I found since I blew a head gasket. I blew the head gasket after like 2 or 3 weeks of running 37 psi. And you can make 480 on 33 psi, which is still pretty safe, to be honest with you. Yeah, biggest thing is just keeping the oil changed and the fluids, and like make sure you keep them fresh oil and trans fluid in there, and keep an eye on your coolant. Those are the three biggest things, and then spark plugs. Yeah, I would just keep an eye on the coolant. The only thing is when the overflow keeps overflowing itself is usually a blown head gasket, though. That's how I initially found out that I had a coolant issue, is because it kept overflowing. Yeah, you might be lucky. I can only speak on from my experience. I can't. Every car is different. Yeah, you like I said, you may be lucky. I didn't get so lucky. I blew the head gasket in between each cylinder. Yeah, when I break something, I do it good. I I break it. Axles, I snap in half. Um, Head studs, I stretch them. Then the gasket, I blew out in between each cylinder. I didn't have head studs until I blew the head gasket. That's when I did head studs. I never had my motor. The only time it was opened up was to do a timing chain when it started making noise. Now breaking the transmission. The transmission is expensive. Even buying a cheap tranny and then buying parts is expensive. I spent $600 on the FK8 trans, drove 5 hours one way, and then I turned around and bought fourth gear, which is 900 and some dollars, and then I bought the Accord uh, final drive, which is the ring gear and the main shaft, and a couple bearings, and that was like 600 and something dollars. So pretty much, I've spent 6 and 6 is 1,200, and then another 900. So 2,200 on transmission, and it's not even together yet. To do head studs, you'll have to take the valve cover off, and you'll have to take the high pressure fuel pump off, because one bolt is, or one head stud is underneath the high pressure fuel pump. Yeah, transmissions aren't cheap. I got a good deal on the transmission. I paid $600 for the transmission, and usually they go for $1,800. Yeah, I pretty much stole it. The reverse synchro was supposed to be bad, and when I tore it apart to inspect it, the synchro it's good. They were just probably using crappy transmission fluid in it. There's nothing wrong with the Synchro. Uh, I don't know how to tear an automatic transmission apart. I can tear a manual all day or apart all day and work on it. So that's why I chose manual because I can do the work myself. Yeah, that stuff's easy for me. I've I've worked on manual transmissions and clutches and shit like that for years. Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure. It took me a lot of years. I'm probably gonna end the live feed. Yeah, see you. Yeah, see you next Friday. I'm gonna try doing it again next Friday. If I start to not get any more people in here, I'll probably switch the day. I'm not sure what day yet. Usually, it seems like Fridays everyone's out doing stuff or whatever, and weekends are usually family time for me. So I'm not sure. I'll have to come up with something. Maybe Tuesday nights. But thanks for stopping in. I'm gonna end the stream right here, and have a good night. Peace.